995, Legislative Management and Public Records Management System. Got that word there. Again, today is August 26th, 2025. Just a quick overview of the pre-bid process. So today, this call will be recorded. We will release the pre-bid via a YouTube link. I'll send that at a later time, hopefully later today or tomorrow. We would ask that any vendors on the call that you could state your, once we do a roundtable, that you could state your name and your company that you're calling from. And also, if you could put your name and company in the chat, you could do that right now. That'll be great. Again, we like all bidders to ask questions once that time comes during today's meeting. Any question that we do not get to today, we do want you to restate and also add any new questions to the Oracle portal in the messaging function. And once you do that, that'll allow us to get an answer to you at a later time. There is a question deadline that you'll see in the next slide as well. So this RFP was advertised on August 18th. The question due date that we were just discussing is September 9th by 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the proposal due date of September 17th by 1 p.m. So if you're just joining, we do ask that you put your name and company in the chat as well. So right now, let's go around and introduce ourselves on the city side. I'll start it off. My name is Justin Early. I'm with the Office of Contracting and Procurement. I am the buyer on this particular project. So any questions or communications would definitely go through me for this entire process. All right. I don't know, Christian, you want to kick it off, or anybody on the elections team?
I'm Christian Duca, Chief of Staff for the Department of Elections, as well as the City Clerk's office. And then I'll let the rest of the team speak.
Andre Gilbert, Deputy City Clerk.
Michael Nimmons, Manager, Department of Elections, City Clerk.
Amber Easton, Department.
Okay.
Yep. Can you hear me
Thanks.
okay?
Yep,
Okay.
you're good.
Thank you. My name is Amber Easton, and I'm with the Department of Innovation and Technology.
Great, thanks, Amber. Anybody else from the city side? I don't have my screen up to see right now. I think we're good. So let's go around and if you could, anyone just kick us off, introduce your company and provide us your name.
Sure thing. Nicholas Daniels, Senior Managing Director, Scout Case Management, headquartered in Troy, Michigan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, this is Kevin Karlick, Account Executive with Bennett Adelson.
Thank you.
This is Jason Ditzel. I'm a architect at Bennett Adelson.
Thank you. And I thought there was like an AI something that joins. That someone's that the company, Altec. You guys already introduced yourselves. All right, or wrong. Altec AI Solutions. So right now I'll pass it over to, go ahead.
I was talking in the mute, sorry. This is Malak from Altiq AI Solutions.
Thank you, thank you. And please put your name and company in the chat as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thanks. All right, so now I'll pass it over to the elections team to give a high-level overview of the RFP, and then we'll allow Amber from our technical, our DUA team to provide any technical information that may be needed as well. Mike or Christian, feel free. Yep.
Well, Mike or Chris, they can jump in, but on a high level, um, right now we're working with the software company that's used to build out our city council agendas, our minutes, timestamp meetings, live stream the video, and also record votes for city council. And there's a feature that council can use to record their own votes or make their own votes live. So we're looking for something similar to that. Chris, Mike, do you have anything to add?
No, I think you were pretty accurate on the description of what we're using right now. Only thing I guess I would add is that everything is separated out in different modules. We have a meeting module, we have a meeting management module, rather, we have a um, uh, vote module, a live stream module. Those are components that make up the entire package. We also have a front facing or public facing part of it where our citizens can watch live streamed meetings and view the agendas in real time, and then also be able to go back and watch them after meetings have concluded. So um, again, like Andre said, that we're looking for something similar to that.
Okay, thanks. Amber, you want to add anything from the technical side?
Sure, I would just like to add that we were looking for off-the-shelf legislative management solution. And I think that's about it that we can add now, and can certainly answer any questions that may come up.
Okay, great. Thanks, Amber. Now we're open the floor up to any other vendors. If you guys have any questions, feel free to answer, to state them now.
Yes, good morning, Nick Daniels from Scout. To Amber's point related to the legislative management component, this is an assumption, but I want to make sure that I understand. So as it relates to the type of legislation, assumed statewide legislation here within the Midwest region, right? We're not talking about nationally based legislation. We're talking about those laws applicable to our local area here in the Metro Detroit, Michigan area, correct?
No, actually, the system is to manage the legislative process. So it's not necessarily to do with state or federal laws itself. It's to manage the legislative process
I understand.
within the city of Detroit. And Michael can add anything else from the technical side, but yeah, it's essentially a case management software to manage that entire process from beginning to end, which includes several different modules, including various modules that may be in there, including voting.
Amazing. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
And if I may, it doesn't sound like a few of the other vendors. I'm just going to keep going if that's okay. So
Sure.
you have you have an existing system up and operationally running. It would be remiss of me to not ask what's the purpose behind migrating away from the platform? What are the foundational functional gaps in between the current system and what it is that you guys are looking for in a new system? What's the purpose behind the migration away from the platform?
I think I can allow the clerk's office to answer that instead.
So, Mike, you was about to say something?
Well, you can go first.
So the reason why we're moving away from this system is because it doesn't fit our everyday needs in the manner that we want them to. There's a lag in certain parts of the system. Um, there's difficulty like reorganizing agenda items. The support that we get from their support team isn't there at a needed basis. I want to add that our city council meets at least 7 times a week. So we're gonna need that support. Like if something were to go down, we would need like immediate support from whatever team that or vendor that we'll be using.
Certainly.
And those are like the key elements of why we're moving away from the current system.
It seems pretty feasible. I mean, you have religious meetings on a very frequent basis, and if the system's not operating at the same clip you guys are operating at, obviously, then the lifeblood behind being able to actually manage and capture everything you guys are talking about, that's lost. So I can understand and respect that. That's good.
And to add to that, the vendor that we're currently with um, has moved to a new platform, um, and they've promised migrating their current users over to that platform. Detroit being one of its largest municipalities, and they have really just kind of slow walked this process, which in many ways has kind of kept us in the dark about when it's going to happen. Um, and of course, we know that's a heavy lift when you are thinking about migrating an entire database to another platform within the same system. And it doesn't seem to me like they have the bandwidth, nor do they have the manpower to bring their existing customers over. The platform, according to what we've been told, is up and running, but they've only began to um, bring their new customers in, while their current customers are still like
Sure.
like the city of Detroit are still using an older platform, when we would of course like to be upgraded as well. And so we've constantly been told that this is coming, but they have no uh concrete timeline on when that will happen.
It sounds to me like it's a symptom of them developing the application in lieu of your requirements, which probably was a great fit at one point in time, but they've, I mean, no fault to them, I suppose, have hard coded themselves into a corner where
Mm,
migrating your database to their newer application is probably a very large all of work.
undertaking. It
Yeah.
is.
Yep, yep. And I guess, I mean, having built software for many years, I can sympathize for that position, but it's not, I mean, you need a system that's more democratic. You need something that's going to allow for you to be able to ebb and flow and change from a report schema perspective. Understanding there's a core 80% of the application that is probably going to be static in
Mm.
terms of your workflows and your functionality, but with the exception of being able to change things, you need to be able to do that in a more rapid way. That's kind of what I'm hearing anyway.
And I agree. That is what we're looking for. The current vendor, that term you use, democratic, is definitely one that they're not familiar with, because when a change is made on their end, it has to be one that it's a change that has to be made across the board. So the system itself is not customizable for each of their customers. It is one uh, platform that all of us basically have to adjust to, and it seems it's becoming more and more problematic the longer we're with them.
So a couple of things there, if I may. So question number one, if there is, I mean, it's clear to me, in the very short time that we're talking about this, that their inability to migrate you to their new platform is a tremendous overhaul. If you had to put a guess, or a percentage of confidence behind their ability to migrate their pre-existing data on behalf of the city of Detroit, for migration alone. So let's say, hey, you go off, you select new vendor, Acme Corporation, and you said to this particular vendor you previously worked with, you've got 30 days to give us all of the data that we have historically with you. How big of a tax do you think it's going to be on those folks, and do you think they can even get it done?
Well, that's a great question. Again, I see it as a definite heavy lift,
Yeah.
and one that, because of what is required when it comes to the data that has been accumulated over the 5 or 6 years that we've been with this particular vendor, in addition to um, the day-to-day functions and operations of the city
Hmm.
clerk's office that we're a part of. uh, it is definitely going to be a big undertaking. I don't know if I could put a percentage to it, but I would definitely say that, it would definitely be a heavy lift, and I'll leave it at that.
And that might be cart before the horse question. I think maybe a better position question, and apologies here, would be from the team's perspective, how important is it going to be day one that this new vendor, this new application has your historical data?
I think it is going to be paramount. I think it's going to
Okay.
be
Okay.
extremely important. And Andre, you can add to that as well.
Yeah, and we'll of course like incorporate time for that migration to happen, but we're gonna need it like Mike said, day one.
And by the way, not an issue from my side personally. I'm just curious because we do this often, right? Where we will migrate, Acme Corporation as an example to our database, and preferably the client would say, hey, day one historical data's got to be there, and that's not an issue. Or hey, let's perfect the structure, the configuration of our environment first, and then let's go through a mapping exercise to ensure that our historical data makes it into our preferred configured format that this previous vendor was not able to meet. So either, from I'm just speaking my personal book of business over here at Scout, either way is fine by us. If we needed to go
Okay.
live day one, historical data was there, that's beautiful. And if not, and we need to work towards getting the data migrated because there's kind of some unplanned or unforeseen challenges with the previous vendor, that's not an issue for us either. So either way is completely fine by us.
Okay.
From a timing perspective, I know you have clearly and succinctly outlined all of the dates within this proposal as it relates to the bid, due date, all that good stuff. But in a perfect world, when would you desire to be go live in the new environment? And I'm sure the answer is yesterday.
Going live is I mean, just looking at how long it took for us to go live with this last vendor, I know it's going to take some time.
Yeah.
And with that, it's the training staff, training external users. I mean, in a perfect world, I will like to go live uh, by January 1, but I know that's a tough task in itself. So
Yeah, because you got Christmas coming up. I mean, all the holidays, which again, fine, all non issues, but I guess it all depends on the capacity and resources that are made available on the client side. So that's really good to know. Let's talk users really quickly, and let's talk about the I'll call it caseload count, just volume of records that exist within your current environment. How many total users do you anticipate are going to need access into the system? And then just super surface level permissions. What type of access do you predict that those folks are going to need? So I'm trying to kind of generate a user persona of who's going to be in the system and what type of things they should be able to do, if that makes sense.
It's going to be hard to put a count to that, but in short, Detroit has about 40-ish, give or take, departments, and each
Okay.
department touches this system. And let's just say about 3 to 4 people are trained to touch this system in each department, but one or two actually do the job. Council staff, their staff, entire staff is trained on how to use the system just in case one person is out.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and their staff ranges from maybe like 5 to 10 staffers. So we're talking a lot of folks, touching the system. What was that
Yeah.
second question?
Yeah. So, and again, this might be a difficult question to kind of answer, is the permission, right? So what can they do? What can they see? And I'm sure it is purely contingent upon their job responsibility, right? So their
It,
jobs to be done within the system. So I'm sure it's a difficult thing, but ranging from administrators all the way through down to simple analysts who are just responsible for taking meeting minutes in the environment and everything in between. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
basically.
All right. Okay.
Uh, Hi, this is from Malak. Malak from Alt IQ. Just wondering, like, is there any technology stack? Is it mined, or so is open to any technology?
I don't understand that question.
Just wondering, like, for the implementation perspective, do you have any technology stack in the mind, like, so we should go with some kind of AI based technology, or some kind of web framework? So do we have such kind of preference go over?
I'll leave that question to Mike or Amber.
So if I understand correctly, well, just to clarify, the legislative management software we use is a cloud-based
Yeah.
software, and it is accessible by everyone who has a login credential to this site. And so you can be anywhere in the world, and all you need is your credentials to log into it. So there isn't an application necessarily that you would need in order to access it on your desktop or your laptop. You would just need the login to this website, and you would have access to all of your documents from there. Did I answer your question?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you.
This is Jason from Bennett Adelson. I know it was mentioned that you were looking for the off-the-shelf legislative solution for case management software, or like case management software. Are you open to a custom solution built on the Microsoft stack? We see that you're using Teams here, so I'm assuming that you have M365 and licenses for all the people who would potentially use the system.
I think that would be definitely a consideration. We are looking for a system that is customizable, one that actually meets our municipality's needs, rather than a community of the whole, which is what our current vendor, which is their business model, that pretty much their model has to accommodate all of their customers as opposed to it just being a customizable model for each customer that they have. So, you know, if you're able to do something like that, definitely would be something that we would consider.
Okay, that's great. And you do have M365, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I
Thank you.
I think though that the to build something from scratch, it is important that we get something that doesn't interfere with performance, so that we really can't have a performance drop with how the process flows, the legislative process flows through city council, the clerk's office, law department, mayor's office, and so on. So to build something may not be time permissive. Because obviously you would have to figure out all the requirements and all of this other stuff. So we would need a system that we can move from with little friction as possible in order to not interfere with the legislative process.
Certainly. As it relates to geographical location of whatever it is vendor wise that you decide to select, is that important? You know, you'd mentioned service levels earlier, minimal downtime. You know, let's just guess that you're going to contractually hold us vendors to a 99.99% uptime and availability, rightfully so. The system has to be mission critical overall, and I can understand why. So if in the event that you had the opportunity to work with a vendor that was geographically located within, let's say, Troy, Michigan, would that be preferred?
You said if the vendor was local as to a Troy, Michigan, would that be preferred?
Correct. Do you want someone in physical proximity to where you guys are actually physically headquartered, or is it okay if this vendor was somewhere else in the world?
I mean, that would be great if they're local. That would be preferred. But
Yeah, it's not
at
required.
the very, it's not required, right? It's not
Gotcha.
required.
Okay.
Any other questions? I saw some hands up earlier. I don't know if you took them down.
Just to clarify,
Yeah,
all the
good.
requirements are in attachment F, correct?
Correct. I believe
Okay.
attachment F should be our was it a matrix requirement matrix?
Yes. Well, yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
I only have one additional question, and I know that there's probably not going to be an answer for this, nor may it not be allowed to be answered at this moment in time. But in terms of budget, has the city of Detroit established a budget for this project? And if so, can you share exact figures, but at least a round figure of where it is from a vendorship perspective we would need to be?
Yeah, I don't think we're sharing budget information at this time, right?
Okay.
No, not at all.
All right.
Again, it would be remiss of me not to ask. Doesn't hurt.
Understood.
Of course not.
Another question, apologies. From a references perspective, there's a number of agencies in the city that that we work with and represent currently. Will there be an opportunity to present our references? I'm sure the answer is absolutely yes. Um, to this team for external interviews, so kind of identifying how these folks use the vendor's tools, have the opportunity to have a conversation with them related to system performance and or to team performance in the form of support. Will that opportunity exist?
Yes. So you guys, I believe there's a form. I don't know if it's attachment B or I think it's B. You'll have to submit your reference information.
Perfect.
Yep. And then there you can put all your references, contact information, and so forth. And then we'll do our due diligence and reaching out to them on our end.
That's great. Thank you for that.
Any other questions?
I do have another question. Apologies. From a presentations perspective, once you have gone through bid reception process, you review everything, you're doing your due diligence on your end. Do you predict that there will be I imagine the answer is again yes, but I don't want to leave any stone unturned. An opportunity to demonstrate the system to you, whether that's digitally or physically in person.
Yeah, usually these type of demonstrations are virtual, but yeah, the process is we create a short list and then we go from there as far as demonstration. So
Great, excellent. That's all from me. Thank you so much.
you're welcome. Anyone else? All right. Well, again, if you do come up with questions later on, please submit them to the Oracle portal. That way we can get answers out to everyone. Nick, if you have some of these questions that you want to put in writing, please submit them to Oracle. That way we can respond to them.
Of course.
And then on the screen, the due date is September 17th at 1 p.m. and the question deadline is September 9th by 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Both. All righty. Well, I appreciate everyone's time today. We can wrap it up and we look forward to your responses.
Thank you all.
Excellent. Thanks everyone. Take care.
Thank you.
Have a
We'll all
good
be
day.
getting, you said, the link to the recording, correct?
Thank
Correct.
you.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.